There's one. Oh man. Tried to go into the cut bank. Hit it like a freight train. Another one. Another one. That one's better. Don't pull off. I gotta be light with these little trebles. Caught one. First cast, guys. That's awesome. This water's pretty dang murky on this side, so I've got the micro-bladed Kooshball on. It just felt heavy and I was like, there's no way. Sure enough, very first cast, guys. Got a fresh red and orange micro-bladed Kooshball. First little one of the morning right there. The goal of this morning is going to be to cover as much water as I possibly can and catch as many fish as I possibly can, because normally that's like the equation that works out the best when you're fishing where I'm fishing today. In terms of gear we've got today, I've got all 5 of my setups. I got the micro-bladed Kooshball on my Cast King Zephyr and Dobbins 700 that you just saw. Got my Cast King Kestrel rod with a 1/4 ounce square bill on it and a Sioux Dark Wolf. I got a 2.4-inch Euro Tackle Metacraw on a Texas rig on my Sioux Fox hunting rod, and straight 10-pound braid. Hopefully we can find some clean enough water to throw the Era Tiny Glide. I got it on my Arc Gravity in my Dobbins 701. I've also got a 5/16 ounce Sneaky Spin with a 2.8-inch Guggen Snacky Swimmer on it on my Dobbins 740C. Whoa, that was crazy. Little crappie popped that Metacraw. I had 2 bites right there on the chatterbait and they just wouldn't get the hook, and the first one was small but the second one was a real good fish. We might come back for him later. There's fish number 2 though, just a little crappie. There's one. That feels good too, guys. Nice. Nice fish. There we go. He choked it. Alright, just had to switch banks. Chunky little fella. Look at the gut on that thing. With what's in the water clarity, and the wind, the bladed Kooshball seems to be what's going to work for me. There's one. Oh man. Tried to go into the cut bank. Wow. Clobbered it. Really, really good one too. Woo! Big old head on him. That is a gross looking bat. It's got scoliosis, melanosis on the tail. And now he's got a hole in his lip from a bladed Kooshball. He'd be another 1.5 inches longer if his spine was straight. That Zephyr on that 700C with 7-pound fluoro makes a perfect little chatterbait setup, guys. God, he's got a good hook on that. I think it's a VMC 1/0 hook. Those things are lethal. If you get it on them, they're sticking. The bite's kind of been slow. You know, you always say it's a bad omen getting a fish on the very first bite, and the bite really has been a little bit slow, so that kind of surprised the heck out of me. That's a nice one though. Hit it like a freight train. There's one. I think it's another pretty decent one too, guys. Yep, That is a decent one. Let's go. Man, we'll take him. And y'all, that's another reason why I like throwing just the little hooks. The barbs aren't near as big. The meat of the hook is nowhere near as big. Look at that thing's jaw. Somebody got him probably right through the corner and just popped it out, and that's the result of that. You hate to see it, but it's not stopping him from eating, thankfully. He's just got a Joker scar on his face to tell about it. We'll show his good side. There's number 4. All of them have been on the Kooshball. Sorry about your jaw, buddy. Got one. On the glide bait, guys. On the glide bait. Nice. Yes. Yeah, buddy. That is so much fun. Tiny glide bait fishing, guys. He kill shotted it head first. Guys, you could probably tell by my reaction, but there's nothing more fun than catching a nice keeper sized bass on bait finesse gear on that little tiny glide bait. Oh, I saw him wake on that. That was sick. On the glide bait. That one's decent too. He's not terrible. All right. Golly, when they eat it, they eat it. That is so cool. I didn't have my chest cam on for that one, but I saw him wake on it and he just smashed it head first. That one's not too big, but it's still a lot of fun on that little glide bait. Came out of nowhere. Another one. Another one. That one's better. That one's better, guys. That one's better. Oh my God! It's huge! Dude! Huge! Oh, please don't pull off. I gotta be light with these little trebles. Oh, it is a tank. It's a tank on the glide bait. Got her! Look at that! Heck yeah! The glide bait. This does not make sense, guys. It is windy, it's overcast, there's like 6 inches of visibility, maybe a foot, and they're still eating a 2.5 inch glide bait. I've got that tiny glide on 6-pound fluoro, my Art Gravity BFS reel, and my Dobbins 701C Sierra Ultra Finesse casting rod. Woo! Guys, the bite was kind of slow, so I was just like, you know what, let me try to throw the glide bait around and just see what happens, just to, you know, have some fun and to vary some things up. And it paid off. That was a lot of fun fighting that big fish on there. He almost like bent the insertion point here on the bait, but I got it fixed back. But I wanted to tell you guys too some nuances with fishing this really small glide bait. when you tie it on, I use a triple pitson knot. So I put the first end through and then put it back through like you're gonna tie a Palomar, but then I wrap it around 3 times and then put the line back through. They call it a triple pitson. You can look it up on YouTube. But that knot has rarely, if ever, let me down. If it breaks, typically it's somewhere on up the line where there's frayage. But use that knot, and then as you're casting it, if you cast it into the wind, good luck, because you're like, it's like throwing a knuckleball and there's no way of knowing where it's going to end up. But when you fish it, you got to kind of fish it with the wind if there's wind. And like how I'm coming down the bank this way, instead of finishing with my rod tip away from the bank, you have to make sure you direct that rod tip right into the bank and follow through with the rod tip all the way through to the bank. Otherwise the bait is going to end up all over the place. But if you follow through with that rod tip going towards the bank, fishing with the wind, the bait's going to end up where you want it to, kind of right by the bank. And then I'm just paralleling it in using that chop 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 pause, chop 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 pause kind of retrieve. Another one, tiny. Guys, that just goes to show, I just caught like a 5-pounder. Catch them all, big and small. There he was again. Is it a little one? Oh, he's decent. All right. He hit it once right there, guys. Threw it at him again, and he ate it again. Oh man, he's got a huge gash on him. What happened to you, buddy? That is terrible. Guys, look at the gash on this poor thing. That is awful. I don't know what did that to him, but that looks like it hurts. That's a tough fish right there. Get cut up like that and still be able to eat. That is a spirit of the Trinity fish right there if I've ever seen one. That's a fighter. Fish. Another good one, guys. On the glide. Woohoo! Yeah, that is a good one. That is a good one. Oh. Heck yeah. Come here, fatty. Oh, he even opened his mouth for me. That hardly ever happens. That is another really quality fish on that tiny glide this morning. And something I have not said yet, I could not be doing this right now without having 2 of those suspend dots on that bait. The fall rate would just be way too slow with the wind and with how stained the water is. I could not be doing this without having sped the fall rate of this bait up, guys. Fish. That one might be better too, guys. Yeah, on the glide. Oh man, he came alive. That's awesome. Yes, sir. I saw one kind of come up and swirl on it back there by the bridge, but missed it. This one got it. He gave us a show too. Got him. That's that fish that's been dodging me, I think. Feels better. That's a better fish, I think. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Had to switch, guys. Seems like they went just a little bit deeper. So I got the line through on now. Holy cow. And it is history. I think this guy is what nipped the glide bait earlier, and he choked that line through. Guys, I've tried a few other swim baits on the line through, but for right now, that 2.7 Divine works the best that I've found, and I got some different colors for this summer too. A short and fat, strong fish right there. Got one. Got him. I left some fish earlier. Another one on the line through, guys. A little bit small, but there's a second fish on the line through. Fish. Another one on the line through. Whoa! Is he bigger than I think, or? God, just pulling hard. That is a strong fish. Don't get me wrong, he's pretty long. He's all right. Take him. Isn't that cool? It detaches from the bait just like a bigger one. That little treble hook is so sticky. They don't have a chance. When I need to fish a little bit deeper, that line through seems to do the trick normally. I throw that bait on 6-pound fluoro too, and I've got it on my Cast King Kestrel with the Sioux Dark Wool. Got him. There was one sitting there. Is that a bass? Yeah, that's a bass. It's a spot. Cool. That might have been what nipped the chatterbait earlier. That's why you don't hold fish by the line even if they're small. He broke me off, but I want to try to catch that bigger one that nipped the chatterbait earlier. Well, that was an 8 to noon trip, 4 hours of fishing that just turned into an absolute whack fest come about 9:30 in the morning. I caught several fish on the microbladed Kooshball, which is always fun, but this thing proved itself yet again in the stained water. And I did not expect to even throw this bait today, guys, but it got wrecked and it caught the biggest fish of the day. The suspend dots on it are a game changer. And you know, I was thinking about it, some people say $40 for a little glide bait is ridiculous, but think about it. I've probably caught 100+ fish on this glide bait, probably way more than 100 fish on this glide bait, and I've had it for a year and a half. I've more than got my $40 worth out of it. And if I were to buy like 4 packages of soft baits and spend $40, no chance that they catch near as many fish as that, or are half as much fun to catch as fish are on this bait. I think the next challenge that I want to try to do with this thing is catch some fish in the lakes. Now that I can fish it a little deeper, I want to put this thing in front of some lake bass and see if I can catch a real big one in the big water. Also, the reason that I switched to that line through on my way back, I needed something that I could fish faster and something that I could fish deeper, and I also needed something that I could throw into a stiff south wind, and couldn't do that with a glide bait, but that little line through is perfect. You can fish it a little faster, it definitely runs deeper. Those fish were wrecking that as well. If y'all enjoyed this one, leave a like for me. Please consider subscribing if you haven't yet, guys. Always talk with me down in the comments below. Check out the links to the gear that I leave in the description, and also the links to the playlists of my other vids that I leave in the pinned comment. But other than that, y'all take her easy, and we'll catch you on the next one. Oh my God, it's huge. Dude. Huge.